What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc right here on the Broken Havoc podcast, here to review AEW Dynamite from September 1st, 2021, coming to us from Chicago, Illinois at the Now Arena. AEW is going to be in Chicago all week up until All Out, which is coming up this Sunday, live on pay-per-view. It is going to be an awesome show, but what are my overall thoughts on the go-home show for All Out? I thought this was a pretty good show. It was much better than last week's show. I thought last week's show was kind of lackluster, for lack of a better term, because of the fact of the matches that were booked. I felt like all of the matches that were booked on the show last week's Dynamite was really not really Dynamite caliber. I mean, we had Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy, which it was a pretty good match. I mean, but like, how many times have we've been seeing Orange Cassidy and Matt Hardy feud? We've been seeing them feud for a long period of time. But like, we had a lot of matches that I really did not care about last week. Of course, we had CM Punk dropping that major tease of Bryan Danielson in his segment last week, so that was awesome to see, and the crowd loved CM Punk as well. But what about Dynamite? This show was pretty good. It was a pretty good go-home show. Not the best go-home show, but it was a pretty good go-home show. I enjoyed it for what it was. The matches right here, I mean, the opening match was Santana and Ortiz and FTR. And one thing that I want to note is the fact that, you know, typically the crowd in Chicago is really loud. But I don't know about you, but I felt like the Chicago crowd in this show in particular wasn't really as loud as I expected them to be. But maybe that's just me, but maybe they're just probably going to chill out before All Out, because we all know All Out is going to be a huge show coming up this Sunday in the same arena that this Dynamite was held. And Dynamite is also going to be live. No, not Dynamite. Rampage is also going to be live this Friday, so that's going to be awesome to see as well. But before I get into the review, of course, we got All Out coming up this Sunday. I'm going to be giving you guys my review most likely on Monday because of the fact that I'm off, so that's great. It's Labor Day, so it's great to see. So I'm going to be giving you guys my all-out review. I'm going to be pre-recording it. I'm not going to be going live. First off, I don't know why I decided to go live to begin with, because of the fact that this channel is so small. Not only that, I just felt like, you know, there's a lot of issues going on with my connection. Not only that, the whole stream, there's a lot of issues with that, so I'm going to pre-record All Out, but it's still going to be the same as always. Also, if you guys haven't checked it out, I have my All Out predictions video up on the channel, so check it out. I think it's a really good predictions video. I think you should check it out. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on all the matches from the All Out match card. So be on the lookout for those. Well, not even be on the lookout. Check those videos out if you haven't already. But back with my Dynamite review. Again, this was a really good go-home show. Not the best go-home show, but it was not a bad go-home show. Our opening match of the evening is Santana and Ortiz going up against FTR in a return match, which I will say, this was an awesome match. This was an awesome opener to Dynamite. As I've stated earlier on my previous Dynamite reviews, Santana and Ortiz and FTR have really good chemistry together, especially Santana and Dax Harwood, in my opinion, because of the fact that, you know, the build to these matches were really good. Now, this is a scenario where I did really enjoy the match, but at the same time, I felt like it would have been much better if it was at the pay-per-view, in my opinion, considering the fact that this match was so good. There was a lot of spots in this match to the point where I started to miss a couple spots because of the fact that I was taking notes extremely fast. But, you know, this match was really good. A hot opener to Dynamite. Again, Santana and Ortiz and FTR absolutely killed it. But a couple notes on the match. We get a couple chops by both Harwood and Santana. We get a shoulder tackle by Santana. Both try to hit a hip toss, but instead FTR and Santana and Ortiz begin to brawl. Then after that, we get a double clothesline by Santana and Ortiz on FTR. Then we get a double somersault over the top rope by Santana and Ortiz on FTR on the outside. FTR at this point, they're on the outside of the ring. Then we get a senton by Santana on FTR with a springboard on Ortiz. So he hit basically a cannonball on FTR while they were on the barricade. Ortiz tags in. He works on Harwood. We get a slam by Harwood. Wheeler tags in. So Cash Wheeler tags in. He's the legal man. FTR regain control on Ortiz. Sends Ortiz to the corner post. Then we get a drop kick by Wheeler on Ortiz. Then he proceeds to send Ortiz to the corner of the ring. works on Ortiz. Then Dax Harwood tags in after that. We get a couple stomps to the arm of Ortiz. He works on the left arm of Ortiz. Then Wheeler rips the turnbuckle pad after that. Harwood takes Ortiz to the exposed turnbuckle. Santana then tries to make the save, but Harwood begins to fight back. Wheeler tags in. We get a clothesline by Ortiz. Then both make the hot tag. It looked like a hot tag, but it was. But Santana works on both FTR. Then we get a DDT on Cash Wheeler after that. Santana goes for the Three Amigos, so a nice little tribute to Eddie Guerrero right there. So he goes for the Three Amigos, then goes to the top, hits the all-famous Frog Splash after that. Then we get a cover and a near fall. Then what happens after that? He tags Ortiz. Then we get a double slam by Santana and Ortiz. Ortiz with the cutter on Harwood. We get a cover and a near fall when Cash interferes. Then Santana all of a sudden gets taken out. Wheeler then hits an uppercut. Then Harwood hits a brainbuster on Ortiz after that. We get a cover and a near fall. Wheeler tags in. Santana proceeds to hit a spear. We get a roll up by Ortiz, but we get a near fall. Both Santana and Ortiz are in control over FTR at this point. We get a cover and a near fall. Wheeler with a Gory Guerrero special on Ortiz, so that looked really nice. We get a cover and a near fall. Harwood tags in, takes Ortiz to the top, then he tags Cash Wheeler. Harwood is about to superplex Ortiz. FTR is going to throw the powerplex, so basically while Harwood is on the other side of the top of the ring, about to suplex Ortiz, Cash Wheeler's on the other side. Then after that, what happens is Harwood superplexes Ortiz. Wheeler misses. Then Insecurity by Ortiz. Then Santana hits a splash. We get a near fall. Then we get a rolling cutter by Santana, which looked awesome. Then we get a king blower. Then a thrust kick by Santana after that. We get a double suplex by Santana and Ortiz. We get a cover, and Santana and Ortiz win this really good match with FTR and Santana and Ortiz. Really awesome match. Again, I've stated earlier, Santana and Ortiz have really good chemistry together when they're always in the ring. Their build up to their matches were really good. All the promos that Santana was cutting. Santana, when it comes to the build for these types of matches, Santana is always the MVP in my opinion. Nothing against Ortiz. Ortiz is amazing at what he does, but Santana, when he speaks, you really feel that he is speaking from the heart, and he is telling, he's telling it as it is. Like, he's not reading from no script. He's just telling it as it is. And same thing as guys like Eddie Kingston and Cody Rhodes and all that stuff. But when it comes to their matches, oh my God, their matches are really good. Like, I guarantee you this match will eventually be a main event of a major pay-per-view. This is like main event caliber right here. But this was a really awesome match. I really enjoyed it. We got 2.0, so Matt Lee and Jeff Parker and Daniel Garcia backstage. Says that they're all excited about CM Punk and Darby Allin. Says that they're all excited to take that match away. And Daniel Garcia says that he will beat Darby Allin this Friday on Rampage. So Darby Allin's going to be wrestling live this Friday in Chicago on Rampage, of course, 2 days before his big match with CM Punk at All Out. It's going to be great to see. I mean, Daniel Garcia has been wrestling on Dynamite and on Rampage as well for the past couple of weeks. But he's been showing a lot of great stuff. And, he's going to put on a really good match, in my opinion, with Darby Allin this Friday. But we got the best in the world, CM Punk, coming in. Of course, we got a segment. So we get a bunch of CM Punk chants in Chicago because, of course, this is CM Punk's hometown. I mean, of course, he's going to get he's going to get that huge pop. But he asks the crowd if they're sick of him, and the crowd says no. Says that he can come out every week feeling that love, and says that there's some people that can get tired of him. Then the crowd proceeds to boo, which was funny. Then he says that he's trying his best while it lasts. Says that this Sunday, it could all end for him. And says that he hasn't wrestled in 7 years and he is nervous. And then the crowd proceeds to chant, "You still got it," which was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And a lot of people were saying, and I stated this in my predictions video, that a lot of people were saying that CM Punk, I mean, he is part of the show Heels, which I have to watch, but a lot of people were saying that CM Punk hasn't missed a step. So, I mean, it gives me a lot of high hopes for how he's going to be in the ring this Sunday at All Out, which I'm really excited to see. But then he says that he will make a promise. It says every time he loses, he laces up his boots, and then all of a sudden he stopped right there, and then Daniel Garcia and 2.0 run in and attack CM Punk and just go for the attack after that. Then what happens? Sting and Darby Allin come out. Then what happens is they all proceed to brawl. CM Punk, of course, is in the fray. Then we get a Scorpion Death Drop and then a Coffin Drop. And then after that, CM Punk hits the GTS on one of the members of 2.0, which I will say looked really good. CM Punk, of course, hit the GTS. I marked the fuck out. I mean, bro, how long has it been? Like, we haven't seen CM Punk hit the GTS in 7 freaking years. And we're going to see him wrestle for the first time in 7 years this Sunday at All Out against Darby Allin. So then after that, Punk and Darby Allin proceed to face off. Sting grabs the microphone. Punk proceeds to take out Matt Lee after that. Then Sting says he always wanted to share a ring with CM Punk, which, bro, the fact that we got Sting in the same ring as CM Punk and Darby Allin, holy having Sting there, it just makes everything more, like, feel more energetic. I mean, even without Sting, it'd feel extremely energetic, but the fact that Sting, a legend in this business, is in the same ring, just putting over CM Punk and Darby Allin, how good can you get? Like, that was fucking awesome. But he takes out Matt, so it says that it feels very good to have GTS happen right before his very eyes. So that's what Sting says. And says that this Sunday, he knows that Darby is ready. And then he's going to fist pump his partner and walk back to the locker room. And then all of a sudden what happens? Darby Allin and CM Punk proceed to face off and the segment ends. Overall thoughts on this segment, I thought this was a really good segment. Having 2.0 and Daniel Garcia come in and attack CM Punk, a lot of people were saying this, and I tend to agree. Really, I 100% agree. This is a situation in which Punk is basically, putting over a lot of the talent. I mean, he put over a lot of people. I don't realize this, but he put over a lot of talent ever since he came to AEW just 2 weeks ago. He put over people like Britt Baker. Of course, he's putting over people like Darby Allin, now 2.0, and Daniel Garcia. Like, that is really good. Like, if you're against that, I don't know what's wrong with you, because CM Punk, we need more people like CM Punk in wrestling, because they really need to put over the young talent, because if you don't put over young talent, you're not going to have a business in the future. That's just my opinion. And you cannot rely on veterans all the freaking time. But yeah, we get a video package of Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Of course, they're going to be wrestling at All Out for the AEW World Championship. They wrestled before on the first Rampage, which was an amazing match, by the way. I really enjoyed the match. Of course, Christian Cage is the Impact World Champion, which I was one of the supporters that supported it, because of the fact that I felt like it made sense, because of the fact that Christian Cage has a history in Impact Wrestling, formerly TNA. So yeah, that's that. But I think it's going to be a much better match. I mean, the match that they had at Rampage was amazing, but the match that they're going to have at All Out, I think it's going to be 100% times better. Like, it's going to be really good. Tony Schiavone then interviews the jackass MJF. So MJF, of course, cuts a promo on Chris Jericho. Of course, he's going to be facing Chris Jericho this Sunday at All Out, and if MJF wins and Jericho loses, Jericho cannot wrestle again, which I stated in my predictions video that I do believe Jericho will eventually win, because I do not see Jericho losing 4 times in a row to MJF. MJF can take a loss. In my opinion, MJF can take a loss, and besides, MJF is headed to main event status by next year, because we all know Hangman Adam Page is winning the title against Kenny Omega. We just do not know when they're going to book that match, but they're 100% going to be putting the belt on Hangman, and the guy to take the belt from Hangman is MJF. Hangman Page is going to be your Magnum TA, and MJF is going to be your Ric Flair. That's my opinion. And the Pinnacle is going to be, of course, your 4 horsemen. But he says 4 decades of evolving to stay on top of pro wrestling. Says that he will be forever be on his Mount Rushmore. Says that when his career is done, he will be taking his place. Says that he has shoes to fill, large shoes to fill. Muhammad Ali was the best boxer in the world because he kept evolving. He says Jericho is on a downward spiral because just like Muhammad Ali, he is an addict. He's an addict to the spotlight. Says that he took that away from him 3 times, and Jericho does everything to get it back. And says that All Out, he's going to have the privilege of ending one of the greatest careers in the history of professional wrestling, that being Chris Jericho. What are my thoughts on this promo? MJF is amazing at what he does. He's a really good promo. Always was and always will be. This guy is the future of AEW. He's the future of this business. He's going to be the top heel for many, many years to come in AEW. I know that's for sure. We got Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans. This was a... not the best match in the world. I mean, Orange Cassidy, of course, he's feuding. Him and the Best Friends and Wheeler Yuta have been feuding with the Hardy Family Office for a while now, which, by the way, I'm kind of tired of that feud. I'm kind of tired of the Hardy Family Office. I mean, that's just me. It's just kind of getting stale, in my opinion. That's all I think about. But the match starts. Hardy goes after Cassidy. So right before the match, Matt Hardy just comes in and just goes for the attack. Gets taken out by the referee. We get a spinning heel kick by Jack Evans. Then we get repeated rights by Jack Evans. We get a jumping kick by Jack Evans. Then a suplex by Evans. Then Evans proceeds to go with repeated rights, hits a kick. Then Evans misses and goes to the apron. Cassidy then proceeds to hit a spinning DDT. We get a cover and a near fall. Evans escapes when Cassidy tries to go for the orange punch. Then Cassidy hits a suicide dive, aka the Tumpe Suicida, as Excalibur likes to mention on commentary. Then we get a crossbody by Cassidy after that. We get a cover and a near fall. Then Cassidy proceeds to hit the Michinoku driver and then proceeds to hit his amazing kicks on the back of Jack Evans. Then after that, we get a bunch of waistlock switches by both Jack Evans and Orange Cassidy. So that was a really funny moment in the match. We get repeated hits to the turnbuckle by Cassidy. Cassidy goes to the top after that. Jack Evans then goes to the top as well. Once we go to commercial break, we're in commercial break, of course, they're still fighting it out. But once we get back from commercial break, we get an inside cradle by Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy wins the match. So Orange Cassidy basically won the match right as soon as we came back from commercial break, which I thought was kind of weird because AEW typically doesn't do that. Because usually during a picture-in-picture commercial break, somebody has the advantage throughout the entirety of the commercial break, and then the match continues on, and then, the other person that was getting killed during the commercial break starts to get that momentum once we're back from commercial break. So, that was kind of weird to see. It was a different way of AEW doing things when it comes to their matches and when it comes to their doing things with picture-in-picture, but it is what it is. But what happens after that? Hardy comes in and attacks Cassidy again. Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta come in to make the save. Then the Hardy Family Office comes in. Then the Jurassic Express come in for the same as well. So, yeah, what are my thoughts? I hope this feud ends because I really do not care about it. That's just my opinion. The Best Friends and Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander have better things to do than feud with the Hardy Family Office. That's just my opinion. All right, we get a video package of Jon Moxley. We first get a video package of Eddie Kingston versus Miro, and then we get another video package with Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. So they're putting all these video packages, of course, because they're building up for All Out, which a lot of these matches, matches like Kingston and Miro had like a 2-week build, and, Jon Moxley and Satoshi Kojima was just announced last week, which I thought was kind of a disappointment, in my opinion, because everybody thought that it was going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi that was going to face Jon Moxley at All Out, but instead it's going to be Satoshi Kojima. Now, I don't know who Satoshi Kojima is, but, it's going to be great to see him in the ring. But, a lot of people were expecting Hiroshi Tanahashi to face Jon Moxley, but apparently he's going to be facing... I think he faced him already. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong with that, but yeah, that's that. Jim Ross interviews Chris Jericho. So the crazy thing was, this is the first time that Jim Ross was doing an interview, like, in the middle of the ring, kind of like the way Tony Schiavone does it. But Jim Ross is tearing up. And, he's showing a lot of emotion. Now, there's been a lot of reports saying that Jim Ross is going to be leaving the commentary desk for AEW and be more focused on a backstage role. I believe reports like that came out, which a lot of people criticized JR ever since AEW first started. But you got to realize he's way past his prime, but he's still really good. He's not the best of what he used to be, but, you have guys like Tony Schiavone and Excalibur really, helping him as well. But, I would love to see somebody like a Mauro Ranallo come in for a Dynamite for AEW because, Mauro Ranallo is an amazing commentator. And if you watch the match with Kenny Omega and Rich Swann at the Impact Rebellion pay-per-view, you really see what Mauro Ranallo is really made of. And, I will hopefully one day we'll get to see Mauro Ranallo in AEW. Now, nothing against Jim Ross. I thought the segment with Chris Jericho was amazing, especially with Jim Ross. But, Jericho comes out. Of course, the crowd in Chicago sings Judas. Jericho says, "Welcome to Chicago is Jericho." Of course, that's a little nod to Welcome to Raw is Jericho from when he was in the WWF/WWE. So he says 22 years ago, he started his main event status in Chicago. Says the man that started his main event journey is Jim Ross. And Jim Ross asks why he put his career on the line. Then Chris Jericho calls MJF a piece of shit. Then he is a diabolical and vicious. He's just like Jericho. He's a button pusher. So is he. And says the only thing that he has over him is 3 wins. It says that if he didn't take the chance, he would be complacent. Every time he looked in the mirror, he would know that he could not beat MJF. Says he does not want it to be the end. He wants more and does not want to stop. Says that why he needs to take the chance. Says that if his journey ends, then so be it. He will walk on that commentary desk full time and will thank everybody for being part of his life. And then, or him being part of our lives. Then he says that he needs to be the best. MJF needs to be the best MJF, and says that he does not have the balls to get rid of him, and says that he will see him Sunday and calls him a little prick. What are my thoughts on this segment? This was a really good promo by Chris Jericho, in my opinion. Of course, Chris Jericho is amazing at what he does. He's a really good promo. He's always a good promo. That's why he calls himself the best in the world. No, nothing against CM Punk, but we all know the 2 best in the world are Chris Jericho and CM Punk, right? I know. I'm kind of going far-fetched right there. But, Chris Jericho is a really good promo. I stated in my predictions video that I do not see Chris Jericho losing this match because of the fact that, the stipulation is added that, if he loses, he will never wrestle again. I do see Chris Jericho wrestling again. A lot of people, I believe Chris Jericho has stated like the last match that he wants to have, he wants to wrestle Lance Storm in his last match. That's what I keep hearing Jericho say. And Lance Storm and Chris Jericho, of course, have history. Like, watch their match at ECW One Night Stand in 2005. Amazing match. A lot of people were actually talking about, the beginning stages of the match on Twitter, which was hilarious, by the way. I really liked the interaction about that match on Twitter. But we got a video package of Darby Allin and CM Punk, of course, building up for their match this Sunday at All Out. Next up, we got Powerhouse Hobbs going up against the Machine, Brian Cage. Taz is on commentary. Brian Cage attacks Hobbs while he is making his entrance from behind. He sends Hobbs to the guardrail. Hobbs works on Cage. We get an elbow drop by Hobbs after that. Cage picks up Hobbs. Then Hobbs goes for a clothesline. Once we go to commercial break and we're back from break, Hobbs continues to work on Brian Cage. Cage then hits a flatliner on Hobbs. Both try to attack each other. Then Brian Cage proceeds to hit the Exploder Suplex. We get a kicks and an elbow combo in the corner by Cage. Then proceeds to drop Hobbs. We got a cover and a near fall. Hobbs then works on Cage. Hobbs proceeds to hit a spine buster and then hits a knee strike after that on Brian Cage. Then Cage drops Hobbs to the mat. Then we get a superplex from the middle rope by Cage. Hook then comes in for the distraction, of course, that is Taz's son. Hobbs takes advantage of the situation and then slams Cage with a running power slam, and then he hits the cover and wins the match. Powerhouse Hobbs wins the match with the help of Team Taz, of course, Ricky Starks, the FTW champion, and Taz's son, Hook. Overall thoughts on this match, this was not a bad match. It was an okay match. Of course, these are 2 giants, and, it was an okay match. It was not the best match, but it did get the job done, in my opinion. We got a video package of Malachi Black, of course, talking about his match with Brock Anderson last week. Of course, Malachi Black just killed Brock Anderson in really good fashion last week on Dynamite, and he's going to be wrestling again on Rampage. I forgot who he's going to be wrestling, but I'm going to have to look that up later on. I actually did not watch Rampage last week, so I know that the Lucha Bros are going to be facing the Young Bucks in a tag team match because they beat the Jurassic Express. So, yeah. We got QT Marshall and The Factory, of course. QT calls out Paul White. The Factory goes after Paul after that. Paul takes them all out. Then the Gun Club comes in and try or is about to make the save. But what happens once the factory retreats? You had the Gun Club, Billy Gunn with the chair, Big Show, a.k.a. Paul White, in the front. What happens? Billy Gunn pulls a frickin' Seth Rollins and hits the chair on the back of Paul White, and then hits it again onto the head of Paul White. So the Gun Club, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn are now frickin' heels, which was kind of a weird thing. I don't know where this is going to go at all. I mean, I'm totally fine with the Gun Club being babyfaces. Like, what is the point of the Gun Club really being heels? I do not really understand that, but hey, they may be talking. Maybe they'll explain more this Friday on Rampage, or next week on Dynamite. So, yeah, the Gun Club is now heel, which I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's just weird to me. Like, what was the point of this? I mean, you're trying to make the viewer invested with Paul White versus QT Marshall. What does the Gun Club have to do with this whole scenario? That is one of the reasons. Like, this makes absolutely no sense, in my opinion. It just makes no sense at all. But they'll probably explain more later on in the next couple of weeks, or probably next week. Well, who knows? But that was just kind of odd, in my opinion. The fact that, you had the Gun Club just turn on Paul White. That made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Britt Baker announces Reba and Jamie Hayter in the Casino Battle Royale. Now, earlier during the Will Hobbs and Brian Cage match, Tony Schiavone stated on commentary that Britt Baker has a special free agent announcement. And I, and along with other people on social media, did the assumptions, and we assumed it was going to be Adam Cole, baby. So Britt Baker announces Reba and Jamie Hayter in the Casino Battle Royale at All Out. And she says she announces the hottest free agent signing in pro wrestling. Her. Yeah, it was her. But we all know who the real free agent signing is going to be. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. We all know who the free agent signing is going to be. It's going to be Adam Cole. Like, Adam Cole is 100. I do believe he's 100% signed with AEW. It makes the perfect sense. He's probably most likely going to be making his debut this Sunday at All Out. I mean, Pac is not going to be wrestling Andrade this Sunday at All Out. They postponed the match, but Andrade is still going to be wrestling, and they have a mystery opponent for Andrade. It's either probably going to be Bryan Danielson or Adam Cole. But we'll see what happens there. So, yeah. But do I think Adam Cole is that free agent signing? You damn right it is, because Adam Cole and Britt Baker are dating. So you I do understand why Britt Baker is wanting to make this announcement. You know what I mean? We got Ty Conti versus Penelope Ford in a really good match. I really enjoyed this match. Ty Conti, of course, looked great. Penelope Ford, really good at what she does. The women's division is really starting to get better, in my opinion. I remember when AEW Dynamite first started up on TNT, the women's division was not good at all, because there was just not a lot of emphasis put on the women's division, in my opinion. But I feel like, after 2 years, I mean, the women's division is starting to evolve really great. Like, the division is starting to be really good. But the match starts. Ty goes after Ford, then works on Ford. We get a backbreaker by Ty Conti. We get a roll up, then a near fall. We get a kick by Ty Conti. Once we're in commercial break, Ford is in control back from the break. Then Ford misses her cartwheels, misses a kick. Conti proceeds to fight back. We get a diving crossbody by Conti. Then we get a clothesline by Conti. Plants Ford to the mat. We get a cover and a near fall. Then Ford gains control. Applies a single leg Boston Crab after that. Tries to apply the Indian Deathlock. Conti escapes. Then Conti applies the Calf Crusher. Yes, it was the Calf Crusher. A little nod to AJ Styles right there. Yes, it was the freaking Calf Crusher. Ford gets her hand on the bottom rope. Pump kick by Conti in the corner. Then we get a second pump kick and then a third pump kick in the corner by Ty Conti. Tries to hit the DD tie, but 4 counters into the gut buster. We get a cover into a near fall. Conti applies an inside cradle. We get a near fall. Then we get an elbow strike by Conti. The bunny comes in out of nowhere. Conti tries to take her out, but then Ford runs into the bunny, aka Alley. After that, we get a roll up by Conti, and then Ty Conti beats Penelope Ford in this match. Then after that, the bunny and Penelope Ford proceed to attack Ty Conti. But what happens? we got a return. Anna Jay finally makes her return. It's great to see Anna Jay back. It was announced that she's going to be in the Casino Battle Royale as well, so that is great to see as well. Great to see Anna Jay back in AEW. She was one of the highlights, in my opinion, of the women's division. Another future world champion, in my opinion. Anna Jay is really good at what she does, and of course, she came to the aid of Ty Conti because they're both members of the Dark Order. But they make the save, and Anna Jay is now part of the Casino Battle Royale, so that's awesome to see. We get a backstage interview with Thunder Rosa, and then Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose come in, and then all of a sudden attack Thunder Rosa. Well, actually, no. Thunder Rosa says that she's going to go out swinging, and then proceeds to attack Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose, but then, of course, Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill get the advantage. But we got our main event of the evening. We got the Jurassic Express. It's an 8-man tag team match, by the way. We got the Jurassic Express, of course. We got Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy and the Lucha Bros, Penta and Rey Fenix, versus Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, and Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers, of course, the AEW and Impact Tag Team Champions. This was a really good main event. I really enjoyed the main event, and a lot of people did not really like the ending of Dynamite with the cage lowering down and all that stuff. I tended to enjoy it, because, like, I don't know, because we barely see stuff like that in wrestling nowadays, you know. Maybe we'll see it, like, maybe a little bit. I don't, not even, like, we'll sometimes see it in WWE, but, like, stuff like this I kind of enjoyed, in my opinion. But this was a really good match. Of course, Luchasaurus and Doc Gallows face off. Both exchange shots. We get a kick by Gallows. Then we get a back elbow by Gallows. We get repeated rights by Gallows after that. Gallows proceeds to fight back. We get a suplex by Luchasaurus. We get a right hand by Gallows, but then gets taken out by Luchasaurus. Phoenix tags in. Both do crazy spots. Penta and Matt tag in. Now, if my notes are kind of off, bear with me, because there was a lot of this was a whole spot fest, as I like to call it. This was a whole spot fest. A brawl proceeds to break loose. We get repeated stomps by Matt Jackson. Once we go to commercial break, but once we're back from break, Jungle Boy takes out Carl Anderson. After that, Phoenix tags in, proceeds to work on everyone. We get a spinning kick on Nick Jackson, takes down Nick Jackson. After that, Penta tags in, Phoenix with a slam on Nick Jackson. Penta's on the top. Then we get a couple of stomps on Nick Jackson. We get a cover into a near fall. Then we get a double arm drag by the Lucha Bros on Nick Jackson. Of course, they're going to be facing this Sunday in the cage match. We get super kicks by both the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. Then a German suplex by Luchasaurus. Then we get a thrust kick by Luchasaurus on Gallows. Nick with an enziguri. Nick, after that, gets caught. Gets sent to the outside. Jungle Boy off the back of Luchasaurus with a tornado. Then we get a standing moonsault by Luchasaurus after that. Then Penta tags in. We get a kick by Penta. Phoenix tags in after that, goes to the top. But Cutler sprays, use the freaking dumbass spray like Brandon Cutler would do on Phoenix. Then Gallows and Anderson hit the Magic Killer. We get a cover into a near fall when Luchasaurus comes in. Matt Jackson tags in. The Bucks miss the BTE trigger after that. We get a double cutter by Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix then misses the double crossbody. Then the Young Bucks hit the Meltzer driver on Rey Fenix. Cover. 1, 2, 3. The Young Bucks and the Good Brothers win this 8-man tag team match before the Young Bucks will face the Lucha Brothers at All Out this Sunday. Overall thoughts on this match? This was a really good main event to close Dynamite. But what happens after the match? What happens is Kenny Omega comes out. And then the Elite proceed to attack the Lucha Brothers. The Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer on Luchasaurus through a freaking table. Then Christian Cage comes in, enters the fray, hits a spear, attacks the Elite, but then the Elite they all take out kendo sticks after that. Callis has the cage from the control room, as one of the commentators said. Kenny Omega stated that he had the keys to the control room from the cage. They lower down the cage after that. And what happens is that Dante Martin and Jungle Boy try to climb the cage, but Cutler basically sprays everyone in sight that are trying to make the save. The Elite just proceed to attack everybody that is in the cage from the other side. The Elite stand tall inside the cage, and the show ends. I, for one, really enjoyed this ending segment for Dynamite because it gives a great greater deal of importance to the steel cage match that's going to be happening at All Out this Sunday. Yes, it's not the main event, but I do think that they're trying to make this match important. The match is really important in my opinion because they faced off before in the ladder match in that same venue on the same pay-per-view 2 years ago. They're going to be facing off this time inside of a steel cage, so it's going to be really awesome to see what goes down in that match. But overall thoughts on Dynamite, I really enjoyed Dynamite. It was a much better show than last week, I will say that. I'm really excited for All Out this Sunday. It's going to be by far the best pay-per-view of the year, and this is coming from somebody that attended WrestleMania this year. But it's going to be an amazing show. We got CM Punk wrestling for the first time in 7 years, so great to see. Of course, he hit the GTS for the first time in 7 years as well. Great to see, of course. Be on the lookout for my Rampage and SmackDown reviews, and then also my All Out reviews. I'm not going to be going live. I'm going to pre-tape, and that's going to be going forward for the foreseeable future for the channel. So I'm not going to be going live as of right now, but that's fine because pre-taping the show I feel like is a little bit better for now. But it's going to be an awesome weekend. AEW is running rampant right now in Chicago in a good way. It's going to be awesome. Chicago's going to be going crazy this Sunday. It's going to be an amazing pay-per-view, and I'm really excited to see what goes down. But this was my AEW Dynamite review from September 1st, 2021. Like, subscribe, comment down below, push that bell for more notifications to see you guys get notified for all the uploads that I'm going to be putting up on the channel. Not only that, follow me on social media on Instagram and Twitter. Not only that, just be on the lookout for my extra reviews. And yeah, this is my AEW Dynamite review. This is Broken Havoc from the Broken Havoc podcast. Signing out.